Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we're going to be going over 9 more cool and overpowered builds in Elden Ring. A lot of these are build requests. I missed last week. I ended up having to deal with the sickness and whatnot. Feeling better, thankfully. I missed you guys a lot, of course. It was nice to take a break creatively as well. But jumping back in here, we have 9 more. Several of these are build requests, starting with the Watchdog staff. Can't wait to jump into this one. The Watchdog staff is a bit of a quality weapon. It's going to give you decent strength scaling, but it has a little bit of scaling with dexterity as well, so keep that in mind. If you're at a really high level, you can get this to a very good AR. Now, the Ash of War is not impacted by anything in terms of your stats on the weapon. It has no intelligence scaling, so keep that in mind. Doesn't scale with intelligence whatsoever. You're just going to deal with upgrade level in terms of the Ash of War, and for any physical damage on the weapon, strength and a little bit of dexterity. That's how it works for this one. Let's jump into equipment and stats. Really cool weapon and super fun Ash of War. And for this, we have the Watchdog staff, plus 10 preferably. We are using any seal for buffs. You don't need the stats for using buffs. We have part of the Tree Sentinel set on the sand green robe on, I believe. Our chest piece, rather. Shard of Alexander, Magic Scorpion Charm, Axe Talisman, and Two-Handed Sword Talisman. If you noticed, I was using charged attacks with this. It's really good on this weapon. Bloodsucking Crack tier, Magic tier. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 31 Endurance, 54 Strength, over 80 when you two-hand this, 20 Dexterity, 25 Faith, and we are using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessing's Boon as our buffs. Next one up here is a build for the Fire Knight's Greatsword. The Fire Knight's Greatsword is awesome, goes really well with Giant Hunt in terms of poise damage. It also does well, of course, in Flame Art Affinity. I love this with Giant Hunt, though. I'm not sure whether I covered it or not with Giant Hunt yet. Somebody asked me about a bigger weapon Giant Hunt type build, and of course you could do this with Guts, but the Fire Knight's Greatsword has excellent scaling for Flame Art Affinity, so you're going to get a good amount of damage out of it fire-wise, of course. Fade scaling's excellent, and of course you'll get in some poise damage as well. Now, I wanted to talk about build requests real quick. If you have any build requests, be sure to comment them below. I'm going to look into covering some other games upcoming soon. I'm really looking forward to the Tarnished Edition, though, and Night Reigns DLC. I'm going to be covering both of those fairly heavily, but up until then, I'll be doing the occasional ER video. Of course, if you have any build requests, definitely comment them below. Now, if they're obscure weapons, I'm actually looking to do those ones first. If it's stuff I don't cover often, or it's a rare or weapon that's less used, I'm going to try to get to those ones first. So if you have any build requests for those, be sure to comment below. We have the Fire Knight's Greatsword and Flame Art Affinity with Giant Hunt. We have the Godslayer Seal. Check out the armor set here. We hit 53 poise. We have the Shard of Alexander, Fire Scorpion Charm. We have the Spear Talisman. We have the Blade of Mercy Talisman. And then we have the Flame tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 60 Vigor, 22 Mind, 29 Endurance, 22 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 60 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Black Flame's Protection, Blessing's Boon, Black Flame, and Scouring Black Flame. This one on here is the most straightforward one on here, and that's a dual Reduvia build. Now, in terms of daggers, I actually prefer 2 regular daggers. Any of the other daggers in Blood Affinity, I find you get more bleed build up that way. But in terms of the dual Reduvia, it's highly requested, so I did this for this video in particular. And yeah, it's fine. It works pretty well. I still enjoy the Ash of War, though, more than the Successive Attack build-up. But of course, Successive Attack build-up is generic damage, so you could build up on those successive hits and then go back to the Ash of War for even more damage. And of course, it has excellent bleed build-up. This is my favorite one because it's very much a standard bleed build. It's not going to be anything too special here, but it does enough damage, and I don't cover daggers very often, and when I cover the Reduvia, it's usually just one in the Ash of War that I cover because I enjoy it a lot. I like Bloodblade. It's a really fun Ash of War. I actually prefer putting it on my own weapons. The only advantage with the Reduvia is you don't lose any HP when you use Bloodblade. Now, back to this. The successive attack damage is not bad. It's not going to beat Curved Swords or Twin Blades or anything like that, but the bleed build-up, it feels a little bit similar. Of course, again, not going to get the jump attack bleed build damage, but overall it'll be quite good. That bear took all of 1 try. Tells you enough that the build is pretty good. Get good amount of bleed build up. The Ash of War is nice. Overall, person that requested this, hopefully this came out well. We have 2 Reduvias, plus 10 preferably on both. We're using the Dragon Communion Seal. We have the White Mask on. We hit 73 poise. These are really light weapons. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have Millicent's Prosthesis. We have the Wingsword Insignia, or Rotten Wingsword Insignia is better if you have it. Lord of Blood's Exaltation. And then we have the Thorny tier, Bloodsucking Correct tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats on this one, we have 60 Vigor, 20 Mind, 28 Endurance, 12 Strength, 40 Dexterity, 40 Arcane, 25 Faith. Our buffs are Golden Vow, Flame Burnt Me Strength, Blessings Boon, and I was using Swarm of Flies. And probably one of the most fun ones on here, it's a Bonk Holy build using Guts Greatsword and Malachite's Black Blade. This is a really cool one because you can get a ton of poise damage. This is a Strength and Faith build, and it just does a lot of damage in the DLC because Holy damage is great in the DLC. And then, of course, the jump attack damage is excellent, and we're using 2 huge weapons in this case. Now, we don't have 51 poise. We have a very heavy equipment load in terms of what we're using. I wanted to keep it at a medium load, but we're able to boost our jump attack damage and our holy damage and kind of split it between strength and faith. Now, you could use Malachi's Black Blade's Ash of War for a lot of damage. I end up using it here. It does a lot in terms of the percentage damage, and you get a little bit of a debuff on the boss as well. In DLC, again, it's going to be a lot better. You could use this all the way up into the end game and the base game as well. And you could actually probably not even change your stats, and for the end game, just switch to like a Guts Greatsword and another Colossal Weapon for, I don't know, Flame Art Affinity or Fire damage with the same stats. It's just that Holy damage isn't really that great for the end game. It's very good in DLC, though. Worked well here. Cool looking build, too, with some seriously big weapons. Let's jump into equipment, stats, everything you need to know for this build. And we have Malachi's Black Blade, plus 10 preferably. We have Guts Greatsword, Sacred Affinity with Sacred Blade. We were using the Erdtree Seal. We have the Greybird chest piece on, just the cloth trousers there. Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm. We have the Claw Talisman. Blade of Mercy Talisman, because you should get a decent amount of poise breaks. This is Journey 4, New Game plus 3. Holy Tier, Bloodsuck and Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats. And we have 60 Vigor, 20 Mind. We have 35 Endurance, 34 Strength, 12 Dexterity, 50 Faith. We only have 19 Poise, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, and Blessings of the Erdtree. And next up on here, we have a really cool build for the Morning Star. This is going to be in Flame Art Affinity. A lot of the smaller weapons, you'll notice you'll get a B in Flame Art. Gives you excellent scaling. In this case, I was able to get to 80 Faith, so you can use any incantations you want to, and you'll get a good amount of damage from pretty much any of them as well, because you'll have great scaling with 80 Faith. And of course, the weapon itself, when you two-hand this, you get a ton of poise damage with regular hammers and great hammers in Elden Ring. They're one of the few classes that didn't get completely demolished by poise damage in terms of PvE. I absolutely love using the charge attacks on them. This is going to be one of those ones that gives you a nice light weapon that you could use for a pretty good amount of damage and posture damage, and then mix in incantations to make it an even more powerful build. Whatever ones you like. Of course, fire ones are going to go better with this build because we are in Flame Art Affinity. Second here, we're going to go over equipment, stats, everything you need to know for a cool Morningstar build. And we have the Flame Art Morningstar plus 10, preferably with Flaming Strike. We have the Giant Seal. We're using the Crucible set here. We have 71 poise. We have a very light weapon again. Shard of Alexander, Fire Scorpion Charm. We have the Two-Handed Sword Talisman and the Axe Talisman to get those charged hits and get that poise damage in. Flame Tier, Bloodsuck and Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 26 Endurance, only 12 Strength and Dexterity, 80 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Flame Burnt Me Strength, Blessing's Boon, Catch Flame, and Giant's Flame Take Thee. And the next one up here we have is a Sacred Glaive build that uses Sacred Ring of Light. In Ash of War I don't cover too often, but apparently is really good with the Knight Rider's Glaive, because when you're using the weapon itself, you get a good amount of AR when you're in Sacred Affinity in terms of faith scaling and whatnot. And then Multi-Layered Ring of Light is just a very good Ash of War to just spam for certain bosses. Again, not the end game in terms of holy damage, but pretty much anything else. You get a great amount of damage with Multi-Layered Ring of Light and Sacred Ring of Light. Really cool one, and one I definitely enjoy and recommend trying if you're looking for a holy build that's a little bit different, where you could just constantly fling out different holy light circles and do a good amount of damage in the process. We have the Sacred Knight Rider's Glaive, plus 25 preferably, with Sacred Ring of Light. We have the Erdtree Seal. You can check out the armor set here. We had 60 poise for this one. Shard of Alexander. We have the Sacred Scorpion Charm. We have the Two-Handed Sword Talisman. Godfrey Icon for any incantations you want to add, including Multi-Layered Ring of Light. We have Holy Tier, Bloodsuck and Crack Tier. For our stats, we have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 27 Endurance, 26 Strength, 12 Dexterity, 65 Faith, Golden Vow, Halastraburi, Blessings of the Erdtree, Multi-Layered Ring of Light, and Black Blade. For the next one on here, we have a Dark Souls Knight build. This is a really cool one for guard counters, and Stormblade, of course, is the Ash of War I chose to use. A couple people asked for a basic Knight build. Another person asked for a Dark Souls-inspired Knight build. I've done a few of those in the past. This is probably my favorite one so far, using the Brass Shield with the Claymore in quality affinity with Stormblade and going for guard counters. It's a really good mix of pretty much everything. Now, of course, you can go with a different Ash if you really want to be true to Dark Souls, but I really like Stormblade in this spot just to give you a ranged option. Overall, though, this turned out to be a really good Knight build. It's going to work for the majority of bosses in the game. You get some guard counters in as well, and some blocking, of course. Let's jump into equipment and stats. And we have the quality Claymore, plus 25 with Stormblade. We have the Brass Shield, no skill on it. We have any seal for buffs. We have the Knight set you can get at the Round Table Hold at 51 poise. Shard of Alexander, Great Shield Talisman, Curved Sword Talisman, of course, for guard counters, Enraged Divine Beast Talisman, Green Burst Crystal Tier, Opaline Hard Tier. We're using Sleeping Pots there to stun the Godskin Apostle. 60 Vigor, 19 Mind, 27 Endurance, 40 Strength, and Dexterity. We have 25 Faith, we're using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessings Boon. And next one up here, we have a build for Electrify Armament. A couple people asked me for a build for Electrify Armament. Some wanted a hybrid combination build. I did one of those a while ago. Somebody else wanted one that's just specific to Electrify Armament and doesn't really use anything else and goes for a weapons moveset. For this, I chose the Great Katana because I thought it would be fun, and then using Impaling Thrust for poise damage, as well as charge attacks and regular hits. Take advantage of the AR we can get in heavy affinity two-handed with Electrify Armament. It's going to give you close to, I believe, 850 AR in total, which is awesome on the Great Katana. This one's going to be solid for damage and posture damage. And I want to mention it one more time. If you have any build requests whatsoever, be sure to comment below. And of course, if they're more obscure weapons that I really haven't covered or looked at, or they're more rare weapons, that's the stuff I'm going to be looking for the next upcoming video that I want to do. It's going to be like less used weapons or whatnot. So if you have any build requests for any of the weapons that I haven't covered or are less used, be sure to comment them below. If you have any regular build requests, of course, I'll get to them eventually as well. They go on a list. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. And we have the Heavy Great Katana, plus 25 Impaling Thrust. We have Electrify Armament, of course, we're using on that. We have the Gravelstone Seal, part of the Tree Sentinel set on, and once again, the Sand Green robe or chest piece. Shard of Alexander, Lightning Scorpion Charm, Blade of Mercy Talisman. We have the Spear Talisman, and then we have the Lightning Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats for this one. We have 60 Vigor, 18 Mind, 25 Endurance, 50 Strength. It's going to be 75 when you two-hand this. 18 Dexterity, 40 Faith, Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, Blessing Spoon, and Electrify Armament. So this one's kind of interesting. It's a healer's build. Now, a couple of people asked me for a healer's build outside of the Blasphemous Blade or Prayerful Strike. The next thing I can think of outside of those two is going to be Blood Tax in terms of healing back HP. Now, it's not as great as I wanted it to be. The reason it's not as great as I want it to be is because Repeating Thrust just simply does more damage than Blood Tax. You lose a little bit of damage for some reason because I guess the game knows you're healing back HP, and you don't seem to get as much bleed buildup either, but it's still pretty good. If you combine this with a little bit of a faith build, going for something like Black Flame's Protection and Blessings of the Erdtree and Golden Vow, you could turn it into a defensive build that allows you to heal back HP. Also, real quick, want to ask how everyone's doing. For any of the regulars that hang out and check out my videos on any given Sunday, be sure to comment below because I'm curious as to how you guys are doing too and what you're playing currently. If you're still playing Elden Ring, if you're playing Night Rain, if you're looking forward to the next Souls game, if you picked up anything new lately, be sure to comment that below as well. I'm curious. I'm always curious as to that. As far as my channel goes, I know some people will probably think like I'm not going to be posting that much, but I'll post here and there. I'm just in a little bit of, I guess, limbo until Night Rain's DLC as well as the Tarnished Edition comes out, because those are the two things that I'm most excited about. We have Blood Iron Greatsword, plus 25 with Blood Tax on it. That helm, by the way, is going to give you plus 2 Faith. We have Shard of Alexander, Lord of Blood's Exaltation. We have Millicent's Prosthesis. Wingsword Insignia or Rotten Wingsword Insignia is better if you have it. Thorny Tier, Faith Tier. We're using Moog Shackle there to stun the boss, of course. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 18 Mind, 26 Endurance, 34 Strength, 17 Dexterity, 42 Faith, 40 Arcane, Golden Vow, Black Flame's Protection, Blessings of the Erdtree. Thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning in to my top 9 cool and overpowered builds that are really fun in Elden Ring. If you want to see any more builds in the future in terms of build requests or whatnot, be sure to comment them below. If you want to see me do more of these videos, of course, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you want to see Night Rain content, if you're still playing that, I was kind of waiting for new maps and whatnot. I do want to jump back into it. I tried the hard mode. It was kind of fun, but I think the game still needs a couple things. Looking forward to DLC. Of course, be sure to comment if you have any build requests. Catch you in the next one.